You're listening to Sell the Damn Service, the podcast for service providers who want to scale sustainably, book out with high value clients, and make serious money without jumping on the 6 figures in 7 minutes hype train. Most of the advice out there is built for one-to-many offers, low-price digital products, and hustle-heavy marketing. But if you want to stay in the service industry and still grow big, the truth is you're not being spoken to until now. I'm Emily Williams, an award-winning business owner who sold millions in the online space through both services and digital products. And after all of that, here's what I know for sure. Services are still the fastest, most sustainable path to consistent revenue. So if you're ready for yapping, hot takes, and straight up conversations about what it really takes to sell and scale your services, you're in the right place.
You get to do it however you want to. So
you know what? It's
great.
my show.
Exactly. Damn it.
I am so excited to have you on and get to chat about all of the things. I know you were going to bring on some hot ass takes, and I cannot wait. Because you've been around for a minute, right? You've been in business for a while.
Yeah, we started in 2016 at the end of the year. I started my business on accident. So
Tell me.
it started in October when I turned my employer into my client, and I worked with them for a year. And then I also just kind of,
I'm sorry. How did you turn your employer into your client?
they were going to lay me off, and I said, no, you're an idiot. So
Yes.
I negotiated a year with them. Because I live on an island. I live in Kauai, here in the Hawaiian Islands. And they were a mainland business that was going to move their business off of the island. Just the way they were doing it, I didn't agree with. So I was like, you know what? We'll just take a step back here. You guys can contract with me for a year. I'll, ease out like I think you should, instead of just dropping everything and leaving. And it kind of went from there. So being put in that position too, I had other people come up to me and say, oh, I'm having troubles getting my invoices paid. And I am like, well, that's your back end systems. You need help there. And so I kind of just started helping people with their problems, and it just grew from there. And then pretty soon I realized Kauai is a pretty small island. And so I kind of needed to look into this online space, and that was a whole nother beast. I will have to tell you, back in
Yes.
2017-ish.
Yeah. It's so interesting to me of like hearing people cut their teeth on the online business industry in 2016, 2017. And I talked to someone today who started her business in like 2021. So coming from someone who I've been in this space since 2011, I know the dinosaur version of this bubble and this world. And so it's so interesting to me of, hearing people's journeys start, 6 years after mine, 10 years after mine, whatever. It's with how quickly this space is changing. I can only imagine like how different it was in 2016 versus 2022. And
Yeah, there was a big boom, it seemed like, after COVID. And
yeah,
so, yeah, it was like I was just getting my feet when COVID hit. And then it was like,
you're like, God
oh,
damn it.
I know. But COVID, unfortunately, was good for us because,
Yeah. And that it tends to have been the case for a lot of people in the right kind of consulting or strategy or systems business. Because people were like floundering, and a lot of people also started business during COVID. And so I feel like that kind of also helped with that boom. I want to go back before we move on though, because I think the timing of this is really funny. I wrote and published, did I already publish it? I don't know. I just create content and then I don't know when it goes live. But I wrote an email, and then I also recorded a podcast episode. I think it goes live next Tuesday. But it's about when people are hiring you for your expert skill, they want to be told what to do. And you embodied what I was trying to get out in that email so well. You literally turned your employer into your first client because you knew what they shouldn't do and should do instead. And then you have the capacity and the gumption to state that. And the amount of conversations I've had in the past week or so of prepping, clients and business friends who are heading into a sales call, a pretty big sales call. And the number one thing I keep telling them is like, act like you've landed the job already. You've already landed it. Talk about it like you're assuming they're going to hire you because they would be dumb not to. But your job in this position is to tell them what to do because that is quite literally what they're hiring you to do. So,
I always like when I was first starting, I didn't know what to call myself. I didn't know if I was a strategist. I didn't know if I was a coach. I definitely didn't like being considered a coach because I'm like, coaches give you advice and I don't want to give you advice. I'm going to tell you this is the problem and this is what we need to do and you need to do
yeah.
what I tell you to do.
Yes. 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 If you want this result, this is what you need to do. 100%. I have another podcast with a friend of mine, and she considers herself a coach, and I think she very much is a coach. She helps you get to the answer by teaching you like the skill set and the mind junk and the whatever you need to work through to get to that solution. And mine, I get paid to tell you what the
Yeah,
solution, what you need to be doing, right? And I talk to her all the time about how much I literally despise the word coach. And I've had a couple clients recently call me coaches. And here's what's funny. Okay, I think you're going to enjoy this. I am completely restructuring like one of my programs because too many of my clients are calling me a coach and treating me like a coach, and I fucking hate it. And but I told my friend the other day, I said, I think I accidentally created an environment where my clients are reliant on me to make the decision. And that is not the environment I ever, ever, ever want to create. And so it's my responsibility to change how that container is structured
absolutely. Yeah.
so that we don't have that. Is that how you run with your clients as well?
Yeah, in fact, this whole last year, I'm kind of in this repositioning and I've had some clients and I've definitely had some great clients and some clients that I've taken some lessons from and also I'm getting older. So like I don't want to do as much as I
Yes.
did. Like
Yes.
I have always been I'm like a recovering workaholic. I was in corporate for 14 years. I've got that mentality of let's get shit done. Let's
Yeah.
just go.
Yeah.
And I'm at this point. I live in Hawaii for God's sake. I want to go to the beach.
Right. Right. Enjoy the space that you literally
So
pay for to be
systems
in.
exactly. So systems is like super important because that's the main reason I can do what I do and still enjoy it. And I think so many people we just want permission, I think, more than anything. And that's something I think that what you just said was super important is like a system's only as good as how you're going to use it, right? So if you absolutely hate the system and you're not excited about using it, you're not going to use it. So if you want to use post-it notes, I'm all for it. Let's just streamline it so it's not so many steps.
Yep. Yep.
Um like I don't want to ever say like this is the only way, like you have to do it this way. I want us to all be system thinkers and really kind of like, okay, this is the output that I want. This is what I don't want to see happen during that journey. And how do I get there? Let's bridge the gap. Maybe it's post-it notes. Maybe it's a really complicated project management system. Who knows? But, let's give up all that noise that's out there and say,
Yeah.
this is the way I want to do it. And
Yeah.
I'm going to find a way to do it this way. And this is the priorities that are important to me. And we're going to build that system around it, not necessarily this shiny guru over here saying, oh my God, I made $100,000 and did this. And you have to do it step by step because there's 100 ways, probably more than 100 ways of doing
Truly.
business.
Well, and to me, systems is the answer for because I'm such a systems minded person as well, and that's the thing that I look at when I'm looking at organizing my business and crafting offers and whatever. But I think as I've gotten older and as I've practiced the muscle of being in business, I now see that it is literally my responsibility and on me to craft the experience that I want and I want my clients to get at the end of the day. Old me would have said, "Oh, I don't like how my clients are communicating with me. I need a different business." I need to burn this down, or I need to not work with these type of clients, or I need to not have this offer at all, or I need to not whatever. And those things might be true at the end of the day, even with the container that I'm thinking about. But my first filter now as a seasoned business owner is, what is my role and my responsibility in how we got here? And what can I shift within my systems and my messaging and my positioning and the support to not have that same outcome? This is on me. If they acted the way that I allowed them to act in the container that existed, and they didn't do anything wrong, and if I don't like it, I've got to change it.
Yeah. And I think like we are taught so many in so many places in business, it's so important for us to put the client first.
Right. Right. Right.
People that are going to want to work with you are kind of you in itself. So if you're
Yes.
making yourself happy, you're going to ultimately make them happy as well.
Yes. And truly, if you feel like there's a disconnect between like what you know you can deliver, I think a lot of like overachievers feel this, workaholics feel this. If you know you can deliver this level of experience, service, result, or outcome or whatever, and you keep missing the mark and you're like, I don't know why. It's truly because like you haven't yet figured out what is the system of marketing, of delivery, of scope, of communication, of offboarding, whatever, all of the multiple parts and pieces of working with a client that needs to be designed in the way that's actually going to serve you. Whenever I am not getting either I'm always going to get client results. Literally, that's just because I can't shut up about business. And if we connect in some way, we're going to have a breakthrough. But if we don't get the result that I want you to get in the way that I wanted it to happen, asynchronously, or I just wanted you to be able to watch this thing and submit this thing. Why didn't you get the result? It's my job to filter my expertise then and craft that and reshape that in a way that then is going to provide that result. That's literally why they hired me.
Exactly, because you're the expert, you're the boss,
Yes. Yes.
um,
Yes.
and
Yes.
we're not dicks, right? So we're all
Right.
out there to make sure somebody gets something from us, and
Exactly.
yeah, because
Yeah. What are some of your favorite hacks or systems that you've implemented that help that client delivery or client experience that have had such a direct correlation to the results that your clients or the experience that they're getting and working with you?
so I'm a numbers person. I love all the things. I love all the metrics. Like I can literally do that all day. I look at all the metrics, but I really think that's important that we pare down our metrics because metrics is any number. We could literally do this all day.
Yep.
Let's pull out those KPIs based on the business owner's goals and really just focus on those metrics instead of all the metrics. And then also let's add in a layer of not so measurable metrics about the delight, whether it's the delight of the client or the delight of yourself. Like we need to really measure, like, okay, how did this week go? Did it give me time to go out and go to have a swim in the morning? Or did it, give me time? Or was I just totally frazzled? Like, I think we need to take time to track those metrics as well
Yeah.
and really make sure that I think it's so easy to just get caught up in the all the things. And then pretty soon we have a job again. And it's not what we designed in our business model.
Accidentally
So
did that.
I think we're all guilty of that. I've done that myself too. Like, we have, like I said, I think it goes back to we're not dicks. So it's like we
Yeah.
want to help people. And if people have issues or problems
Yeah.
or obstacles, we want to jump right in and help. And if we don't have the boundaries ourselves, and this is also a leadership thing too, because
Yes.
we need to show our clients that you're your biggest asset, no matter how you look at it. If you are functioning at 50% or even less, you're not giving your clients what they need. And it's just kind of this ripple effect of you're not happy, they're not happy, then you want to blow
Yep.
your whole business down, that kind of thing.
And guess what? You can implement systems to help support your clients when you are at 50% or
Mhm.
10% or whatever, so
Exactly.
that they still feel it. Because I'm definitely not on all day, every day. And there are certain hard and fast boundaries that I have had to put in place with communication and reach out and response time and all of the things. And all of my clients are truly so lovely and honor that. And you know, abide by the rules, so to speak. And when sometimes there's still a disconnect in between how it feels for me. And so it's my job to investigate that and figure out, okay,
And
what
it's
could I be doing different?
communication. Like, we just need
Exactly.
to talk to each other. Like, I think
Yes.
there's this we've got this go, go, go society, and we don't just sit and either have the time to have some white space where we can, okay, really think about where is that disconnect or, how can we do things differently?
Yeah.
And then also really reflecting on like what is getting us the results, what's not getting us the results. Like one of the
Yeah.
things, even in corporate, like this is one of my biggest pet peeves is you ask somebody why they do something and they're like, oh, we always do it that way. And I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, well, is it still, is there still a return on investment? Is it still make sense? Is it irrelevant? Is it duplicating something else? And most of the time, they don't know why they're still doing it and they probably shouldn't be doing it in the first
Yep.
place.
Yeah. Truly. Truly. And I think that brings up an interesting part of this world that we live in this online business space of, and I mean, we're all guilty of this to some degree, but I talk a lot about, what is the result that you want to get your clients in working with you in a specific container. You can provide different results in a different container, but one result for one container. And when you do that, it makes your messaging, your positioning a lot easier. It makes that service a lot easier to sell, a lot faster. You can work with more clients if you've got it streamlined. There's a whole bunch of benefits to that. And I think that there's also like the flip side of that is businesses are unique and circumstances are unique and results may vary, right? The disclaimer that like every product packaging has results may vary. I don't think that we hold the same fluidity that we allow other products in our lives to provide us a different result in this online business space. So when we trade for services, not trade, but money and for services, and I hire you for something or I hire that person for something, if I'm not getting like the exact experience and exact result that I thought I would get, then all of a sudden it's a negative experience for me. Instead of being able to either holistically like take a step back and look at, okay, what did happen though? And what were the results? And just because it was unexpected or it was different, was it better? And did it actually get me in a different direction and get me insight in a different way? And did I, do take my role and responsibility of communicating with that service provider of what I wanted to see differently or where there was a disconnect? For some reason, I think it's like everyone looks at this so like cut and dry in this
And white,
industry,
yes. Oh,
right?
yes, yes.
And like, I don't know if you've seen this too. Luckily, I think I've started to get off of this part of threads, but there was like this weird part of threads there for a couple weeks where people just like bitching about other service providers and like the negativity of that. And I'm
Now
like,
they're just all bitching about Taylor Swift, so
it's truly, literally, my entire feed is bitching about Taylor Swift. I'm like, how did I
exactly,
end
mine
up
too, and
here?
I'm like, "What is going on?" Like, she's obviously got more money than you do,
Dude, she's doing something
and
right.
a
And
lot of people are talking about her, so there's some success to that as well, so I don't know what you guys are bitching about for her.
like she's gonna hear you. Like I just truly. Yeah. And so I don't know. How do you reconcile the like, I need to provide a result. I want to provide the result. This is what they hired me for, and the nuances of business. And when we come in with strategy brains, that there's going to be new things that get brought up.
Oh, yeah, and I think to your point, like, it is your responsibility. However, we also have to come at it with this, like, open mind of, "I'm totally made up a different way than you are."
Right.
And maybe what I'm seeing getting my hands in your business is a huge problem for me. But for you, maybe you like it. Maybe it's like a touch point that you don't want to give up. And
Yeah.
so like we have to like really communicate again and really see each other's point of view because like if it's something that you love, I don't want to ever take that away.
Right. Right.
Whether it's strategy, and maybe it is or it isn't a good thing to do, who knows? But obviously, even if it's a bad thing and you're super excited about it, that's going to win out over the really good thing
That you dread.
that you dread doing.
Yep.
Exactly. So
Yep.
like I think we need to also just I think take a step back again, go a little slower and really see what the priorities are and your priorities are probably totally different than my priorities.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I want to talk about something that I feel like that you do in a very unique way. The concept of retainers and sustained contract work has come up a lot in my community. I work with done for you service providers who are shifting more into, I help them productize their signature service. And typically what comes from that is we identify what I call level 10 clients. And those level 10 clients are the people who understand that they got what they needed to get out of that container and they still want access to your strategic brain afterward. Maybe they just want feedback or validation or support, like light support. And what does that container look like? And so, for a few of my kind of alumni folks, we are defining these and creating these retainer services and retainer packages. And it's really interesting to see it unfold for my clients when I have my own kind of emotional triggers with retainer services. I like them for the money and I hate them because I'm working on the like, why would you keep paying me month over month over month? Like, what am I giving? Like, what am I giving you that's enough of a value for you to stick around? And what if I build up this whole revenue stream of retainer clients and then they all go away and that's a huge chunk of my money? And so it's a very like, I'm working through that. I know that that's a me thing, but like, I feel like you tackle it in a really unique way. So, can we dig into how you handle and look at retainer work?
Yeah. So I've always done one-on-one, mostly retainer. Sometimes it was package based, but for the most part, I love one-on-one. I love getting my hands in the nitty-grittiness of your business. I love seeing that aha moment when my client is like, "Oh, and I created this system all by myself and it was all based on like this challenge or whatever." Like really becoming those systems thinkers because I don't
Yeah.
as much as I believe that relationships are the core of small businesses, and I do love the retainer of a client for a long time. Like, I like to see them in their different milestones of their business. Like, I love startups for their passion, their excitement. It's just
Mhm.
different than people who have
Yeah,
been in business
for
for a
sure.
while. So I like to even dabble there, but I do have to admit, like, the majority of my clients have been in business for a while. They've gotten to this point where doing all the same things isn't getting the result that they wanted it to. So there's some bottlenecks in there and they can't really go much further. And so retainers just make sense.
Mhm.
I can retain a package where we get the setup, the infrastructure of the business started. Then maybe they go off and they, test and tweak and they do some things and then they come back. I have clients that are like, I really miss the relationship I had with your Voxer.
Mm, mhm,
So, like,
mhm.
that is one of the ways, the asynchronous ways of retaining a client,
Yeah.
even after they probably don't need you. But we all need that validation, or we all need that, like, hey, I want to run something by you kind of thing. And that's the openness that I have with my clients. Like, I'm constantly a year later, 6 months later, saying, hey, just want to check in. How are things going? What are you up to? It's the magic Q4. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And I just love to have that relationship with my clients. And I think retainers, so my legacy offer, which is now invite only, used to be my main core. And over the years, there was scope creep. There were clients that I didn't necessarily enjoy working with. There were and that's on me. That's totally on me. It's not anybody else's fault. But I just realized that I also don't have the energy that I used to. So like taking on 5 clients at a time isn't working anymore, or at least I didn't like it wasn't bringing me joy.
Uh-huh.
So now and
Marie
I like
Kondoed that.
yeah, I know she's but like the importance of it, I think there's still an importance on one-on-one. I think that relationship, just being able to see everything as like a fractional COO would, I think that's important. And it also, like, gives me the chance like, it's not just my job to interview you to make sure you're an ideal client, it's also your job to interview me and make
Yep,
sure it's a good match.
yep.
I also like personalities. Like, I want that person who's gonna jump in and think outside of the box and wanna get started, not the ones that are always like, "Well, Gary Vaynerchuk says this," or, you hear that all the time. It's like, "Oh, but I just watched a webinar and they're saying do it this way." And I'm like, "Well, that's fine, but do you really want to be like they have a huge audience? Do you really want to try to get that audience where you have a more intimate audience?" Like we have to like sometimes check our clients and say, "Hey, whoa, like you just don't have the audience for that. I'm
Right.
sorry." Or
The math doesn't math.
yeah, or the capacity. You just don't have the capacity for that. It's not going
Yeah.
to work.
Yes.
Um, so having that more intimate relationship with those clients, I thought was more important than doing more of them. And so now it's just, I do VIP days. I love VIP days. Um, Before it was VIP days were only for clients. And most of the time I brought them here to Hawaii. So there was an extra perk,
Stop it.
but that was why it was only for clients because I couldn't do that for the masses.
Right. Right.
So I'm opening it up and I am doing a remote version as well as a here in Hawaii. We could do the regular remote version just in person and have some extra like, lunch and some spa things. But then I also want to like show off my island. So like here, come stay a couple of days, we'll work and we'll have fun and I'll
Yes.
show you what your systems can do.
Yes.
And we can go from there. And so now based on that, anybody who's an LBS client has to come from those kind of needs. I have had to have worked with them in a smaller capacity to just kind of gauge like, is this even scope I want to take on right?
Right. Right. Well, and this has me thinking too of like the retainers that are kind of floating around in my brain to offer as a downsell for some of my folks. You have to have already gone through the clarity I'm getting now is you are definitely going to have to already have gone through my proprietary method, framework, whatever. Otherwise, I'm coaching you how to do that for cheap over here on Voxer, and I don't want to do that. Like I'm going to be
Yeah.
answering questions that would have been answered if you had worked with me in this container, in this project sprint over here. And so having that available only to alumni, so to speak, legacy clients, definitely makes sense. It's this very similar conversation I'm having with my clients where we're identifying their level 10s, and I've created this tracker and Airtable where you put in the client, you put in their package, it calculates their lifetime value, and then there's a scoring system of like, did you enjoy working with them? What was their communication like? Did you like the project that you did? Were they happy with their results? Were you proud of the results? Like there's a whole bunch of different things that we're scoring, not just like, did you work with this client? Kind of going back to your point earlier of like, why would we ramp up something that you did like with someone that you didn't even like? And so all of those things are factored in and they get a certain level 10 score calculated at the end of that. And based on when their last time of working with you, it then goes into this automation of, okay, now it's time to reach out to them to see, do they want to have this ongoing support service with you? Do they want to enroll in this other thing that you have going on? So that way it's like this, it's kind of an upside down funnel where like their audience is wide and their content is wide and then they get narrower and narrower and narrower as
Yeah.
their offer suite ascends up and it feels really nice because you get to keep working with people who you love.
Yeah. And even my VIP days are set up kind of in an ascension model because I have 5 actual topics that we can dive into. And it's based on my framework, which we go into, planning an organization, or maybe it's a metrics dashboard, or maybe, we tackle the team, right? And then there's always like that bespoke, choose your own adventure, totally off topic. But they can also package those VIP days like they want to do them all in a 12-month period, or they just want to do one. Maybe they just need a little bit of me.
Yeah.
And, because there are going to be those clients where I have clients from 2017 and like they're going to be those clients that just pop in and pop out.
Yep. For sure.
And, maybe you text them once in a while on Instagram, but there's going to be those clients. You're never going to get away from that. But the majority of my clients I have worked with years over years
Yeah.
in
Yeah, for
different
sure.
capacities.
Well, earlier you mentioned that you had been in corporate for 14 years. And I always find it really interesting to chat with folks who are business owners now who've been in corporate. I've never worked a corporate job before. I've only ever been a small business owner. And I find it very interesting. I would love to hear from you. Like, what are a lot of people leave the corporate space because of, burnout or they hate the environment and they hate the culture or whatever is happening. I know yours might have been a little bit unique because maybe you were about to be let go and then you convinced them to stick around. But what of corporate life do you feel like you've recreated in your business because it did serve you and it did work really well?
So originally, let's go back a few years. I was in a corporate job, a $1 billion company, and my dad passed away, and we brought him over here to Hawaii to be in the Cemetery. And I got married here. I love it here. It's just an amazing. Like some people hate it, some people love it. I love it.
I've never been. I
I'll
want to
never leave.
come.
Well, come visit.
The travel it's so far
I
for me. I'm in the Midwest. It's so far
Yeah,
for me.
I know. You guys usually go to the Caribbean, huh?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know. But I just loved it here. So I got married, told my husband I'm not leaving, and he's like, "No, we kind of got to go home. We have our dog back home in daycare. We got to go home." So we made this pact that we would spend a year getting prepared, and then we would move to Hawaii. And part of that preparation was working with my current employer, saying, "Hey, there's this thing called working remotely."
Have you heard of it?
I would still come maybe once a quarter in there in Maryland. So I was like, okay, once a quarter. And for the longest time, that was kind of a go until I got 2 weeks before I was supposed to fly out. They're like, you know what? We're not really thinking that this is the culture we want to cultivate right now. So you're welcome to stay. And of course, I chose to leave. And I actually liked corporate work. I had my office, I was pretty high up. I had flexible schedules. I didn't work Fridays. Um, so like it was nice, and I wouldn't have left if they didn't push me out. And then I came here and I took a job, and it was an operations job, and that put me into the community a little bit more. And I saw a lot of businesses that had amazing services or amazing products, but they didn't know what they were doing in their back ends. And so I just kind of started my business on accident. And then I was laid off from that job. And I said, no, 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 wait. Well, this is premature. We got to, let's hold up. And I turned them into a client. So my journey's been really interesting. I'm still a corporate girly, to be honest with you.
Love that.
I have over the years loosened up a lot. Um, I think being in that like the online space, when I entered it in around 2017, scared the crap out of me. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I don't even know what I was called. Like I remember having a conversation with somebody, that was doing the online thing, and having like a consultation call, and they're like, "Oh, you're a VA." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm a VA." Okay.
Sure.
And then I'm like, "Wait a minute. No, no, I'm not a VA." And then the OBM term came about, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm an OBM." No, I'm not an OBM either. Um,
I feel like that's a lot of people's rite of passage is that VA, OBM kind of throwing you to the wolves in a behind the scenes scenario. And a lot of people, that's a lot of people's like beginning journey. And it's really funny.
yeah. Well, and it's funny because like you had mentioned it earlier. So I would say I was an OBM. I'd go after the people you saw on Facebook that were asking for OBMs, and I would immediately not think it was an OBM like problem. But
Yeah.
I would come in from the back door and say, "Hey, I see your problem. Let's get to work." And
Yeah.
the title thing never really factored. And then I would say I even actually just recently changed my title, because before I was an operations and systems consultant, and now I'm a business design architect, because there's so much more to the system piece. Like we need to
Yeah.
have plans. You would be amazed at how many businesses don't actually have a plan in place, or business plan, a 12-year plan, like, or not 12-year, I'm sorry, 12-month plan even.
Yeah.
Like we need to have a plan. We need to know where we're going before we start going somewhere.
Yes. Yeah. I hopped on a discovery call the other day that was definitely premature, but it was they were asking about wanting to potentially start a new content channel. And I was like, okay, cool. Like what would be your goal? Is it monetization? Is it leading to your own products so you generate extra revenue there? No, no one's gonna buy. I don't want to turn on monetization. And it takes me like hours actually to like create the content. I'm like, why are we talking? Like what? And so I kept asking, like, okay, so what would be the goal then? Like, if it's not monetization in some form, like it's got to lead somewhere. What are we doing? Because like you can write for free if you're also like gonna then market your book, or market your speaking opportunities or your courses or whatever. But like, it's all got to kind of lead to somewhere. Like, there has to be a purpose. And if you think that none of your target audience is actually there, then what are
Why
we
are you
doing?
doing?
What are we
Yeah,
doing? And so I
that's
had
a
to like kind
hobby.
of fix my face because I was just like, so why are we talking? But so what's the goal? So what then why are you going to do it? And so she ended up emailing me like a couple days later. She's like, "Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it." I'm like, "I don't think you should."
Valid though. Sometimes people do need to talk to us to say, oh, well, maybe that idea wasn't really, fleshed out as much as I thought it was, or maybe I am just like following the gaggle of people telling me I'm really good at this,
Exactly.
I should do this. Because you'd be surprised at how many business owners you talk to that are like, oh yeah, I was really good at this, but I absolutely hate it. But the money's good. Um, but yeah, I hate it. And how do you give me the systems? Like, this is one of the things I hear a lot is like, I need you to build me systems so I'm not doing what I'm doing. I'm like,
Yes.
well, I kind of
That's
believe
not
that you're the captain of the ship.
Yes. Yes.
Like, you have to know the direction you're going. You have to know enough of all the pieces so that you can step in and motivate when you need to motivate, or, give that higher level approval of like, you know what, I'm just not thinking this is going in the right direction. Let's revisit this. But like, yeah, I think there's definitely a need, and there will be a need in the future for us still.
For sure, for sure. And like my favorite conversation is like when systems girlies need systems girlies, because like we all have our own blind spots and like can't see our own shit, right? And I
Mhm.
was having a conversation with one of my best friends earlier this summer. It was specifically in August. I had told her that I had wanted to launch my own podcast, this very show, for l- almost a year at that point. And I had wanted to do it for about 18 months at that point. And I had told her earlier in the year, I'm gonna launch it in the spring. And spring came and went, and obviously I didn't launch it. And then she's like, "Okay, when are you gonna do it?" And I was like, "Okay, I'll do it in August after like the craziness of summer dies down. I'll launch it in August." She was like, "Okay, great." We get to August, and she's like, "What are we doing?" And I'm like, "Okay, next month for sure. I'm gonna launch it." And she was like, "Okay, why aren't you doing it though? Like, we actually need to diagnose this because you keep pushing it back and you keep saying this. Like, what is actually the sticking point for you?" And truly, she was like, "Just talk and I'm going to take notes and then I'm going to tell you, I'm going to reflect back to you what I'm hearing." And in 20 minutes, I got all of the clarity around why I wasn't moving forward, and the reason why is because I hadn't built the system yet that could support me, because I felt overwhelmed by the idea of, like, organizing the content and then reaching out to the guest and then setting up the episodes and then editing the episodes and then publishing the episodes and then marketing the episodes and then telling the guests that their episode, like, all of those things that you just can't hit record and talk and then have a podcast. Like, you have to actually do all of these other things, and I said, "That part is really overwhelming to me," and she was like, "Oh, well, you've told me your brain works like this. So what if you built a system that did this and it like took care of it for you?" And I was like, "Oh my God." Like, did I not think of that? And immediately, yes. And so I built that system that afternoon in the coffee shop. That's when I first posted on Threads. Like, that day, I had redesigned the cover art, posted on Threads, and I got booked out through February of 2026 with guests that afternoon.
I think we need intimacy. I think we are so siloed and working behind our computers in our own little offices, wherever that is. And the conversations like this, I think, are super important
Yes.
because system girlies, to be honest with you, we're kind of a hot mess. If you really look at it, like, we're really, really good at looking at the other person's problems
Yep.
and deflecting from ours. And
Yep.
we're also probably control freaks and high achievers. I'm thinking probably. And so we know how to just, okay, this is all the shit I got to pick up, I got to do, and you do it. Is it the best way of doing it? Probably not, because we reserve that time to really analyze and dig deep into the clients. And I think that's why I'm like, lately I've been really talking about like, you need white space. We need
Yes.
to reflect. We need
Yes.
to see where we're going, where we are. Are we still on the same path? Does the path still make sense? Like, there's so many questions to ask ourselves in business. And back to the corporate thing, there's some pros and cons, obviously, from coming from corporate. One of the cons I would say is I love doing all that stuff. Like I could sit probably for a full entire month and tune everybody out and say, okay, we're going to tinker here and we're going to have a business plan that's because I always say everyone needs a business plan. You can have a one-page business plan that might be sufficient, or you might have to have the 5,000-page business plan if you're going to look for investors and all of that stuff. But we all need one. It just depends like what kind we need for ourselves. And I could do the 5,000 business plan. Like I love those complicated
Blech.
systems. But yes, exactly. But we need to analyze who we're building those for. The average small business person who has a contractor and maybe a one employee, part-time employee, they're never going to look at the operations manuals that are 1,000 pages long. They need
No.
something quick and easy. And as much as I hate saying, put it in your project management system, sometimes that works. Like that's,
I
for me,
know.
that's not where I'm going to recommend it go. But
Mhm.
for a lot of people, that works.
Yeah. What is your favorite project management system?
I have to say right now it's Notion. And I don't
Notion.
know if that's my creative, because I'm not a creative person. My mother did my art homework until I got to college,
Ah.
like from little baby
Your
to
mom did your
till
art
college.
homework.
She's the artist, and I was just never good enough for for her.
Oh,
So she always did my art homework. So those teachers out
hilarious.
there, but that's my form of creativity is like building building the systems, building the notions. And sometimes I'll get a little colorful with Canva, but
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes it also looks like an art, like a kindergarten student did it.
Yep.
That's
I am an Airtable girly through and through, and I've been digging into Airtable for the last, like, 2.5 years, and I'm finally ready to
make the jump.
try project management inside Airtable. I have been using Asana for years and years, and I just went back when I left my company in 2023. I had employees and a team and like all the systems and the business plans of all of the tech tools and everything. And I left and I was like, okay, I get to decide now, like what of that was really useful and that I could pull over. And so when I first went out on my own, I just did a free Asana and Dubsado, and that's all I did. And I also like made it a goal of just being like, can I be the leanest business that's ever existed in the world? And I don't know why, but I was just like, I just kind of as like a fun challenge because like part of owning a larger company and being a part of that is it's more expensive to run a larger company. And now that I've worked this out in therapy, but, like, I was triggered a lot by, like, how much money we were spending on a monthly basis on our
Payroll
team,
alone.
on
Yeah.
marketing, on systems. Like, when you serve more clients, you have to get the higher plan in ConvertKit and the higher plan in Teachable and all of the platforms, right? The more people, it just is more expensive. We had an HR department, like, it was all bananas, and it would just give me, like, an aneurysm every time. I'd be like, "Okay, we're spending how much, like, just to kind of, like, get to have all of these things?" And so when I left, I was like, "I don't want any of that. Like, can I do the free version of everything for as long as possible and kinda get scrappy with it again?" And I'm really good at being scrappy, and ultimately learned Airtable and was able to cut so many systems because of that, because it can connect and do so much that I'm like, now my like weird niche focus is I want to use Airtable for everything. And so
That's really cool. I actually
I'm
was doing some stalking on you and I saw your previous podcast and it sounds amazing because I've always used Airtable for database stuff. So like all my metrics are in Airtable, but
yeah, yeah.
and then I was a ClickUp. I have to say, when ClickUp came out, I moved from Asana to ClickUp and absolutely was in love with them until 2 years ago. Two
Oh,
years ago, I stopped using ClickUp because it just got so convoluted. You could do so
mm,
much. I would stay in my project management system and then
yep.
be like, where'd the day go? And like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
nope. So we're going to simplify.
yeah,
I totally am. I think a lot of entrepreneurs right now are going scrappy because of the economy, because of, social economic stuff. I definitely think we're trying to get scrappy because we want to save, we want to save money. We also want to be sustainable. We want to be
Yes.
sustainable, and we
Yeah.
want, to be good citizens in our communities. And so I think our priorities are shifting a little bit, and our systems are
Yeah.
going to have to shift as well.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's funny is like, because I've definitely gone on rants about all-in-one systems. I hate all-in-one
They're
systems. Like,
never all in
literally
one.
despise all-in-one
Never all in
systems.
one.
And it's funny because, like, I'll preach about Airtable and be like, "It can do everything, it can do so much," and it's not an all-in-one system. Like, it's confusing to kind of communicate that, and if you know Airtable, I think you know what I mean. While it can do so many things for you, it's just because it can connect to so many things,
Yeah.
and the data can talk to each other. It's not I don't use it as, like, um well, I don't send it doesn't send invoices, like, I can't get paid through Airtable, and I don't my newsletter isn't through Airtable, my social posting isn't through Airtable, but it is data management and client management and communication management that happens
Yeah.
inside of that,
And I think
so
that goes back to your priorities. What
Right,
what do you need for your business? And that is able to be all supported with Airtable. And I think that's
yep,
amazing.
yep.
I think
Okay,
leaner, to be
well
honest with you, leaner is better. So
yeah, right, right, right. Um, aside from, Notion, what is there like I just love like new techie things, software things or whatever. Is there something like a niche tool that you use and love and could never give up? Is there a new software that you've been introduced to that you really love and
I
brag
have
about
to
it?
admit, so old school Dipsato, I don't think I will ever get rid of them. And I also, so coming from corporate, starting my business, I thought you had to have all the things, right? You had to have the fancy website, you had to have your business cards printed before you did anything.
Right. You don't. You don't. I don't have business card. I can't tell you the last time I had business cards.
Exactly. So now that I'm kind of re-engineering everything, one day I was frustrated with my website. It's gorgeous, beautiful website, and I just said no and let everything lapse. And I guess because my designer did all things with my website, I didn't know that they actually got rid of your website. So
Oh no.
now I'm like, okay, we're like in this unique space where I get to take my time because I'm on my own
Yeah.
timeline. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I'm still getting clients without a website. It's not, the end of the world. And want this to last me my until I retire. So
Yeah.
like it's gonna
Right.
be gorgeous and beautiful, but it's like not this thing on the top of my to-do list right now. I like really want to explore what I want it to look like, what I want it to feel like. And I want it to be me. Cause sometimes I think too, we like do a lot of things that we're told to do and we don't necessarily agree
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
So
So, but no
but
standout tech tool that you're loving right now?
I'm have to admit AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Dipsato, I think I will always be a Dipsato user no matter what because they are so easy with their invoicing and even selling. I started selling like these Notion boards that are really quick, low ticket, and I'm selling them through Dipsato. So it's
Nice.
super easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think at my point of life right now, simple is best. Like,
Yeah.
let's really keep it simple.
Yeah. One that I'm loving and using right now, and it's free. There's a pay plan, but the free plan is phenomenal. It's Metricool. Have you heard of Metricool?
Is that
It
an
is
editing thing?
it's a social scheduling, it's a content
Oh,
scheduler app.
no. Yeah.
So when I launched the podcast, I committed to myself that I wasn't going to just record it and publish it, but I was going to actually share about the content because that part is the hardest part for me. And so I record in Riverside, and Riverside's editing is phenomenal, and they make these really incredible, they call them magic clips. And so they're like 15 or 30-second clips where like their AI system behind the scenes scans your episode for like a really juicy sound bite. And it already pre-populates it for you and you can just download it. And so I just open up Metricool and I download one of those magic clips. I upload it into Metricool. I write a quick caption. It's literally like, go listen to episode 13 or whatever episode. And then I schedule it. And I know then without fail, I'm at least posting twice a week on Instagram because I'm going to post 2 reels from 2 magic clips of content that I'm creating. But what's really cool is that because I'm doing that, then it's so, to me, again, to me, because I do love creating content, it is so much, it's such a lower lift for me to then just do one more post or then share about my Substack or make a carousel of a case study. I'm already doing it. So I might as
Yeah.
well just do one more. To me, it's like if I'm already doing something, it's not hard for me to do more of it. It's creating the habit to do it in the first place. That's the hardest for me. But once I get that habit created, ooh, y'all are going to get sick of
Superstar.
me on Instagram.
Yeah. No, that's kind of cool. I actually wrote that down because, to be honest with you, social media is the bane of my existence. Like,
As it
I
should be.
would
As it
much
should be.
rather be out. Like, I can get a client going to Starbucks just from
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
I'm a talker.
Yes.
So, like, we like to
Yeah,
talk.
truly, truly. And, like, I think that if I've had my Instagram since 2011-ish, 2013 maybe, and it has been a business Instagram probably about 6 months into when I got Instagram. The community that I have cultivated over there has stuck with me through every iteration of anything I've ever done. And my, like, amount of followers and viewers and engagement has pretty much, like, never changed. It's been the same.
That's what mine
It
is too. It's
it
like we're
doesn't
good.
change, which is whatever. It's the same, like, 300 people watching my stories every single time I post something, but it's such a it's a fun creative outlet for me, and one of my, like, something I think I do really well, and I mean, this has been reflected back to me a couple times, but, like, sharing on stories some of the behind the scenes, and, like, I build out loud a lot. I create out loud. I try things out loud, and if that can give literally anyone permission to just go do something and go try something and share about it and talk about it, then great. And so I'm, like, bebopping there occasionally every now and then, but I cannot tell you, like, the last time I cared about my analytics or looked at what was
Yeah.
happening or anything. And Instagram sends you now, when you're on the business account and you do publish, it sends you a monthly report, which I do like. So, like, the first week of a new month, they'll send you the report from how your account did. And it was like, it was up here, it was down here. Consider doing more of this, or here's the times that your audience was, most engaged. And so sometimes I'll look at those and be like, okay, well, it's working. And so, great. I'm just going to do more of what feels low lift, but it's not one of those. The social media analytics are not one of those things that I actually analyze or care about.
Yeah. No. I would say converting maybe, but other than
Right.
that.
Right. Well, but it's one of those things where it's like, I know if the more I share on stories, the more I convert. Even if it's not the people watching those stories, it's about this weird, like, energy output for me of, like,
Yeah.
if I'm
Yeah.
showing up, I convert. And so to me, like, posting on stories is my hack to get more clients, even if they don't come from stories. It's a
Yeah.
weird, it's a weird,
No, and I think that's amazing because I think, like, we all need to utilize our gifts, right? And definitely because I think I found you I know I found you through
yeah,
social
you did.
media. So, it's like and I remember even way back in the day, like,
Yeah.
I saw you on social media. So, it's
Yeah.
like, we
I've
gotta
been here.
definitely Yeah, and I think that's true, like, I'm old school, so, like, we're OGs, like, this
Yes.
is we've been
Yes.
around, we've seen a couple things, we know what we're doing.
Yeah. It's really weird going through, like, just the big life milestones that I've gone through online. And, like, by no means am, like, an influencer or public figure in that way, although I did get recognized at a fall festival 2 weeks ago. It was really funny. She was like, "Wait, I know you." And we chatted for a bit, and that was super great, and that happens, like, once every 2 years. So, that's about how often I can handle it, which is great. But it to me, it's still a fun space, and the second it isn't a fun space, then I'm out of there, and I know that too, so yeah.
Exactly, and you get to decide, right? So,
Exactly.
it's
Exactly. Well, Tracy, thank you so much for coming on and just yapping and chit-chatting and shooting the shit with about business with me. It's
I
been
think
so fun.
I love this space because I think we just need to do more of that in
Yeah.
general, and it
Yes.
does open our eyes too of, like, some blind spots.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and we learn new things and take new nuggets away, and that's the whole point. Well, since you don't have a website,
I know.
where are you at? How can people learn more from you, see more about you? What's going on over there?
So basically, I'm mostly on LinkedIn,
Great.
but I do have DM conversations in Instagram, and
Yep.
I do post over there once a month, just kind of let you know what my
Amazing.
happenings are. We also have Plantober. October at Medeiros Consulting since 2017 has been Plantober. So we're talking all
Ooh.
about planning, taking those steps back to see what, how we can reflect and make sure we're doing things intentionally into 2026. And also, I'm all about conversations and talking with people. So if you just pick up my Voxer, I'll Vox with you.
Yeah. Your Voxer's like in your DM on Instagram, I think, because I
Yeah.
think I went to go find your website earlier and I was like, she don't have one.
No,
It's
in fact,
Flowdesk
to
and
be honest
Voxer.
with you, it's actually kind of a
I
relief.
love that.
Like,
I
I don't
love
have
it.
to worry about broken links. I don't have to worry about, oh
No.
my God, did I mention Plantober on my website?
Right.
Or
Do I need to change that? Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. And then for the longest time, my VA just did that. So then there's
Right.
that, like, okay, did she do that?
Right. Yep.
So not even having to worry about it. It's kind of nice. Like, I have been selling out of Google
Yep.
Docs
Yep.
and Dubsado, and it's been
Yep.
amazing.
I sell out of Google Docs and I have 2 websites. So like, it doesn't matter.
I have to admit, I like the aesthetics, and I don't
For
know,
sure.
maybe it's the old school, like, recognition. I do want to have a website again,
Yeah. Maybe just a one
but
pager.
it's also going to be different because I have this like sultry, dark, moody mermaid kind of feel. I'm like thinking about.
Please. Yes. Yes. I can't wait to see that come to life.
Like,
And
my
take your
old
time.
website was the operator, the girl next door who goes to the beach with her coffee. And it's like, now I'm
That's
like
the old
so
you.
against taking your laptop to the beach. Just like, don't do
She's
it.
dead.
Just
She
make
can't come
sure
to
your
the phone
systems
right
are
now.
sound, and then you can just go to the beach.
Exactly. Oh, I love that. Instead, just do like this witchy moon ceremony on the beach
Yeah,
in
exactly.
your
I love
photos.
the moon on the water. Like, yesterday was a full moon, so if you
Yes.
go to LinkedIn, you'll see a full moon on the water.
Okay, stunning. Okay, I will have those links for y'all in the show notes as well so you can find Tracy. Tracy, thank you so much for hanging
Thank
out
you.
today.
This
It
has
was
been
so
fun.
fun chatting.
Yes, thanks for having me. This has been fun for my morning. It's only 10:30, so we're good.
Oh, that's right. The time zone is very different. It is 3:30 for me. It is the end of my day.
Granted, it's probably really cold, but I still have coffee.
Yep. I still have mine too that I just like have not been sipping. And so we'll see. It's a major regrets having it at 3:30. And so we'll see what happens. But okay. Yay. Bye.
Aloha.
Thank you so much for listening to Sell the Damn Service. If you loved what you heard today, do me a quick favor. Hit subscribe, leave a rating, and drop a review. It seriously helps more service providers find the show, and it keeps me yapping into this mic every week. It's a nice, free, easy lift way for you to support the show. And hey, if you've got a friend who needs to hear this, please send this episode their way. The more people selling their damn services with confidence, the better this whole industry gets. See you next time.